Hello, it's me, and I got an unboxing here. Now this is a particularly heavy box, so let's see what kind of puzzles are in this. Let's see what we have to show here. Now admittedly, this is purely a gratuitous buy for no other purpose than because I'm obsessed with a certain form of the collection. So let's see what I'm talking about. Now if my calculations are correct, there's a couple of puzzles here, and okay. So there is in all 1, 2, 3, but there's more. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. 11 puzzles, but here's the thing. Strangely enough, all these 11 puzzles really kind of look almost exactly like each other. You almost can't even tell the difference. So what would prompt me to do that? Well, let's kind of take a look and see what we have. I'm going to put some of these in the back. Okay, I kind of angled it this way over here because there's a glare and it was looking very distracting. Okay, so where this came from is this came from a fascination that I had of this guy over here. So this is a circle cube. And what's interesting is that you have these stationary circles, and I was always fascinated with the fact that you can have like a puzzle within a puzzle. And I've got many puzzles that sort of reflect that. What I like about this is it looks like a Rubik's Cube, right? It's black with colored stickers on it. And basically, aside from the circles, it matches that kind of a form. And that's what I like in a collection, is that there's something of a symmetry to it. So here's the thing though, if you're going to have a circle cube, these circles on a puzzle like this really have very little actual significance to the solve. What this is it's basically a supercube. It's a fancy looking high-tech kind of a supercube. You're going to have exactly the same solve experience if you take a normal 3x3 and just put arrows on the stickers. If you put arrows on the stickers, it's the same solve experience, so you're not really experiencing what it is to have these centers that have to be solved independently. So the only way to make this a challenge is to take one of the sides and make it not stationary, but make it actually move with the rest of the puzzle. So there's puzzles like that, and they have different forms of it. So as an example, here's a form of it over here. This is called the Venus, and what you see is this center is stationary. This is stationary. This is stationary. So all around this it's stationary, but at the top it moves with the side, and at the bottom it moves with the side. And the reason why this is more difficult is because it's more than just a supercube. You actually have to have algorithms to solve this inner puzzle. The inner puzzle is its own puzzle. So if I move this to here, stationary. But if I move this to here, it moves with it. So you can see you actually get a scramble with these central pieces that you don't get when all of the centers are stationary. So the advantage of a puzzle like this is it's very durable, and it really doesn't break down. Here, there's always the worry about the stickers peeling off and having to be replaced. This you can take anywhere, you can pack anywhere, and you don't have to worry about the stickers falling off. So it's actually a very durable puzzle, and you can have any number of versions of this. And they put them as planetary versions. This is Venus, this one is Saturn, in this case, stationary, not stationary, not stationary, stationary, and not stationary. So this is the opposite. So what is this? Saturn is the opposite of Venus. Here, the top and the bottom move. The rest are stationary. Here, the top and the bottom are stationary. The rest move. And they're different solve experiences. So that's what's kind of neat about them. Now, admittedly, in a collection, when you see these puzzles all in a row, they look the same. It doesn't seem to do anything. They look like just repeats. But if you really wanted to enhance the solve experience, you'd have something like this. So the only way circle puzzle is going to really unlock all the challenge is to have some of them as a crazy version. But here's the problem. This doesn't look great next to a Rubik's Cube. It's not black with stickers. So it didn't quite fit the collection, but it was the only thing that was available at the time. They're great puzzles, and they work well. But when I heard that there might be a black sticker version coming out of the Planetary version, for no other reason aside from the fact that I really wanted to maintain the integrity of the collection, I couldn't help. So let's find the equivalent to these guys over here. So this one is, let's see, so this is the crazy plus 8 planetary, I don't think it'll tell me. Okay, so this is Jupiter, this is Mercury. Okay, so here's Venus. So let's take a look and see what we have here. So taking a look at it, you can see how this would be very appealing in terms of the collection. Now it's got stickers just like this, and this is what I would call a sun cube, where every center is stationary. This one, let's see, so this is stationary, this is, so all around this should be the same, whereas the top moves and the bottom moves. So in essence, it's the same puzzle as this, but you can see it's got that nice black stickered color to it. So it has the same kind of challenge to it. Okay, don't quite want to scramble it yet. All right. Now, if they had this way back when I first got this, then I would have jumped at the chance. So although it looks homogeneous, if I were to set it up like this, then you can sort of see that it's not the same kind of puzzle. But I really think it looks beautiful just in terms of a collection. This always kind of stood out as being something quite different, but this looks really, really good. Let's find the other version. So that's Venus. Let's find Saturn, Mars, Neptune, Saturn. Okay. So we'll take this out. All right, so this top is stationary, this bottom is stationary, all the rest are not. Now, what I think I'm going to be doing is rediscovering these puzzles as I go through them one by one and solve them again. It's been a long time. So the question that I have is, when I set this up like this, does this look like a neat part of the collection when you see it like that? Well, let's kind of go over or look at each one. All right, so this guy is Mercury, and as I recall, Mercury just had one. So this is stationary, or rather this moves with it. All the rest of the centers are stationary. And like I say, each one has its own unique solve experience. And this guy is Jupiter. So what does Jupiter have? Well, this one is this one moves with it, stationary, moves with it, moves with it, moves with it. Okay, so this is stationary. Okay, what's interesting is with Jupiter, only one is stationary, all the rest move. So in a way, it's kind of like the Mercury, I think. So Mercury moves, stationary, stationary. Okay, so it's the opposite of Mercury. With Jupiter rather, it's almost just like a normal Rubik's Cube, but you've got one center that's stationary. So it's the complement to Mercury, which is interesting because Mercury is the smallest planet and Jupiter is the largest planet. So they're sort of opposite ends of the spectrum. Let's see. Mercury will go here, Venus will go here. My very educated mother just served. Okay, so this will go over here. So what's next in the planetary system? We have Uranus, or Uranus actually. So this is stationary, stationary, moves with it, moves with it, moves with it, and moves with it. Okay, so in this case, all these move with it, and two adjacent ones are stationary. Okay, so this is Uranus over here. And what do we have here? Okay, this one is Neptune, stationary, moves with it, stationary, stationary, moves with it, stationary. Okay, so we have this pattern over here of ones that are stationary. That's Uranus. Neptune is way out over here. And then, oh, we've got some more. Are we going to start running out of planets? This guy is Mars. Stationary, well, moves with it, moves with it, moves with it. Stationary, stationary, stationary. I think it's the inverse of Neptune. All right, this goes over here. And we just have one more left. And that is this guy. Who are you? So this is Earth. Moves with it, moves with it. Stationary, 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 and stationary. So it's just another variation with that. Okay, now the movement seems to be really good with these. I would say they're on par with these puzzles here. This has been broken in quite a bit, so this seems a little more, a little less rigid. There is a rigidity here, but I think that can be broken in quite easily too. Okay, and that'll be right over here if we go in order. Okay, so here is the planetary puzzles. Let's actually maybe move them like this so they can all be seen. All right, so this is purely an impulse buy from a hopeless, fanatical collector, simply because I wanted all the puzzles to look like this, because I wanted them to resemble the Rubik's Cube as much as possible. But because I know from the standpoint of the solving integrity that the only way to really unlock the true challenge is to have all the different variations. But in my mind, taking a look at this really does me well and really makes me feel very satisfied to have this kind of a collection. When I looked at these sitting next to each other, it was very hard for me to really discern the structure of the puzzle. It just didn't quite look right, but this looks exactly the way that I would want it to look. But wait, we're not quite done. So in addition, going down a step, we have our circle 2x2. Now this is the 3D printed version of it, and you can see why I would find the structure appealing. It's black and stickered, so it looks like a 2x2 with these internal pieces. And this naturally has a sort of a crazy plus structure because some are stationary, like these guys, and some are not, like these guys. So there is that built-in challenge with that. Now there's a mass-produced version, which is this guy, and you know what the limitations are. Looking at it, it might be hard to really discern what the structure is. It's a great puzzle. It moves really, really smooth. Fantastic solve experience. But again, as a collector, it's lacking the very essence, the very things that I'm looking for with that. Move this off to the side. So, what better way to enhance that part of the collection than to see if there is a black stickered version. So we have this, by the way, the stationary kind they call the 0, and the non-stationary, the one that moves with the side, is 1. So 0 is stationary, 1 is non-stationary. Okay, so taking a look at this, and that is beautiful. I mean, you can see how this really fills in the gaps a little bit more here. The circle's in the middle. It's kind of hard to see because the colors are so homogenized, but when it's black and stickered, the structure just pops out at you. As a matter of fact, it has a much larger look even than the one that I've used for years, which is the 3D printed version. So let's take a look at the structure here. So this one is a 1, or it moves with it. Opposite side is stationary, or a 0. This one here and here, so it's the same structure, really. The opposite ones of each one are, one is stationary, one moves with it. One is 0, one is 1. So basically this is the true version that I was waiting for. Even the structure is different. This circle is so much smaller than this circle over here. So I would imagine the solve experience is exactly the same. So that would be enough. Oh. Now I notice as I turn this, this got a little stuck over here, and I think that is kind of part of the failing of the structure a little bit here. So this might take some post-processing, maybe some super gluing. Not a deal breaker, but you know, this is just what it's like right out of the box. I can see that there's a little bit of an alignment issue, and when that happens, this pops off here. So again, a little bit of super glue, very carefully added, could prevent that from happening. Okay, so what if they took this structure and made other structures with it? Well, let's take a look at what this one is. This one is another planetary puzzle. And let's see what this one's all about. Okay, right off the bat, this is turned. Interesting. Well, I'll turn it back here. So we have this here, and that's a 1 version. Opposite is also 1 version. So right now, these two are both both move with it. This over here also is moves with the side. It's a 1 version. And this is also 1 version. This looks like a 2x2. Except there's one here that's not. One that's stationary, one that's a 0. So that's interesting. I'm not sure how they did that, but there it is. So this one is a 0, all the rest are 1s. So that's going to make the solve interesting. This is a lot like, I think, the Mercury version. I think, was it Mercury? Where everything, no, it was the opposite of Mercury. And I think the opposite of Mercury was Jupiter? That's Mars. Okay, I had it out of order. So anyway, all the rest is like a Rubik's Cube, except for one side. So this appears to be a Jupiter version, where this side is a 0 and all the rest are 1s. So this is a Jupiter version. Very interesting. Okay, so this matches this over here. Well, actually, here's what I should say. This matches this guy over here. So these two are the same. And this matches this guy over here, this Jupiter. So we'll do this so that you can see it. Okay, and wouldn't you know, I have one more. So I'm very excited about this collection because I don't know what the solve strategy is going to be like. Okay, let's move this in and let's see what this one most resembles. So this one is a 0 version. Let's look at the opposite. Okay, so that's about the same. Let's look at the green. 0, 1 rather, and this is also 1. So these are 1, and this is a 0, and this is a 1. So we have this one and this one, 2 adjacent sides with stationary centers. All the rest move. So in that way, what does this more closely represent? Well, was that Mars? I'm just thinking, okay, so this, and I believe all, oh no, it's not Mars. Mars has 3 sides. This one, and this one. So it's not Mars. Which one was it? Was it Neptune? No, good. No, not Neptune. Was it Uranus? That's actually how to pronounce it, by the way. Aha, it is. Okay. So this is a 0 side. Where are you? This is a 0 side. All the rest are normal. So that is what this one's like. Is it the same color? That would be kind of cool if it was. So in here, the white one is stationary. Here, the green one, nope, is not stationary. Which one is it? It's the red one. Okay. Oh, something about this blue side that's just not stable. Okay, and all the rest aren't. Okay, so white and red. In this case, it's white and green. So this is Uranus. I feel like it's a medical textbook. I'm so mature. All right, so basically that's this version, this planetary version over here. Okay, so we have now. I actually made a mistake. This one would not be like the regular circle. We actually don't have one like that. I suppose it's possible to get a 2x2 that's exactly like that. So in reality, is there one over here that does all the opposites like that? Now let me see. Not this one. Ah, beautiful, perfect. So actually it's Neptune. This is a Neptune cube because Neptune is just like this. This is a 0, this is a 1. This is a 1, this is a 0, this is a 0, this is a 1. Now you're doing it? Okay, so I'm going to have a lot of fun correlating. Oh, this guy really wants to pop out, doesn't it? correlating these solves with these solves, the 2x2 and the 3x3 versions. So there it is. This is a gratuitous, completely self-indulgent expansion of my collection. But what I really love is the fact that we have different planetary versions of these 3x3s and 2x2s, and I really look forward to correlating the solve strategies. In the previous solve strategies, the previous tutorials, to be honest with you, that was my early days of YouTube, and I had kind of a limit to how long the videos can be. So they're very clunky, they skip around a lot. So what I might do is redoing, so to speak, of how to solve puzzles like this. Anyway, I hope this has intrigued you and whetted your appetite. Honestly, these are the things that really get me excited. These are things that I really like to go for in terms of adding to my collection, and more on this later. Thanks for watching.